Welcome, welcome. We're back for another study. We are going to start out here in the book of Ecclesiastes in chapter 2, kind of as a preface for where we're going to be in 3 John. So if you don't have your Bibles out, you know what to do. Get them out in front of you. Ecclesiastes 2. I'm going to read some verses there to kind of set a preface, like I said, for our study in 3 John. Solomon writes in chapter 2 of Ecclesiastes, the very first verse, I said to myself, let me dabble and test you in pleasure and see if there's any good in that. But look, that too was fleeting. And he just kind of goes on like that here for several verses. Verse 10, throughout this experiment, I let myself have anything my eyes desired. I did not withhold from my mind any pleasure. What was the conclusion? My mind found joy in all the work I did. My work was its own reward. As I continued musing over all I had accomplished and the hard work it took, I concluded that all this was fleeting, like trying to embrace the wind. Is there any real gain by all our hard work under the sun? And Solomon goes back and forth in the rest of chapter 2. He's like, I tried this, I tried that, I did this, I did that. And then verse 24, there's nothing better than for people to eat, drink, and to see the good in their hard work. These beautiful gifts, I realize, too, come from God's hand. For who can eat and drink and enjoy the good things if not me? To those who seek to please God, he gives wisdom and knowledge and joyfulness. But to those who are wicked, God keeps them busy harvesting, storing up for those in whom he delights. But even this is fleeting. It's like trying to embrace the wind. So Solomon, back and forth, this is fleeting, I tried this, it's fleeting. But he brings us upon something quite important here in Ecclesiastes 2. Verse 26, to those who seek to please God, he gives wisdom and knowledge and joyfulness. Now, Solomon doesn't say that is fleeting, that there's no point in that. He says to the wicked, with all their striving and everything they're going to do, it's all going to come to nothing. It's like trying to embrace the wind. But that little clue, to those who seek to please God, he gives wisdom and knowledge and joyfulness. So that's what leads us up to 3 John, where we're going to be for the study. We're just going to look at a few verses here in 3 John. It's not very long. It's only 15 verses altogether. We're not going to look at all 15 verses. We've kind of set the tone there with Ecclesiastes 2 about we try this, we do that. Solomon says there, we didn't read those verses, but Solomon says, I built buildings, I gathered horses, I amassed a fortune, I built this, I built that, I did this. None of it brought me real peace. None of it really satisfied. But he says, to those who want to please God, God gives wisdom. And so here we come in. This is the Apostle John. The same John who with his brother James sat alongside Jesus and said, hey, me and my brother were talking. We think you should put us on your right and left hand. Because we're the guys. We're it. We are the guys. So we deserve to be right here and right here beside you. We know what happens after that. Jesus says, are you sure you can drink this cup? John and James say, you bet. Not very long after that, James gets killed. John is left. John indeed drinks this cup that he was telling Jesus, I'm going to be a full part of your mission. I want to really get in there and follow you. And Jesus is like, I'm not sure you really understand everything. But that's what we look at in Ecclesiastes, is what's really going to do it? Is it all this fame? Is it building ourselves up? Solomon says, none of that. I've done it all, and none of that means a thing. But here in 3 John, we're going to listen to the Apostle John here. I, the elder to Gaius, who is much loved by all and loved in truth by me. My beloved friend, I pray that everything is going well for you and that your body is as healthy as your soul is prosperous. I was thrilled when the brothers and sisters came and told me stories of your faithfulness as you continue to walk in the truth. The greatest joy in my life is hearing how my children are walking in the truth. My friend, you demonstrate your faithfulness in all things you do for the brothers and sisters. When they are strangers to you, you treat them as family. These friends tell the entire church how you have extended your hand to them in love. You will do well to send them on in a way that is in keeping with God. That's the word we're going to be reading for today. We see, as I said, we're just going to go right back over Ecclesiastes 2. Solomon says, I've tried all this stuff. I tried it. But what's meaningful is serving the Lord, because the Lord gives us gifts that last. John says here, man, he's 100 years old here, about 100 when he's writing this here. And he's like, I watched all my brothers die. James, Peter, all of them, all my brothers, my disciples, the other disciples with Jesus, they're all gone. I'm it. But what's carried me through isn't the buildings I built, isn't the education I have. Because John was part of a rich family, so he would be well-to-do. I mean, John had to see, he lived through Paul dying. Terrible thing. But he tells us here, echoing Solomon, all this other stuff, it doesn't matter. John gets right down to the nitty-gritty. He always keeps things very simple for us, right straight to the point. He says, what really matters, invest in each other. My beloved friend, whom I love. John's investing that loving attitude in these other brothers and sisters within the church. They, in turn, they follow along suit. Not that John's so great. John's just saying, this is what the Lord has exampled for me. This is what Jesus did. Solomon's saying, I tried doing it my way. Didn't work. I followed the Lord. That meant something. That was enduring. That lasted. This demonstration of our faith in all things and doing for our brothers and sisters, investing there, investing heavily there. These, friends, tell the entire church how you have extended your hand to them in love. You will do well to send them on in a way that is in keeping with God. Not that we want just, hey, people patting our back saying you're a good guy. That's not the point. The point is our investing in each other. And that's going to bring this real satisfaction, which every human on the planet, every human being on the planet, they want that. They need that sense of significance. This is where it is. Solomon says, I had it all. I had all the money, the horses, the slaves, the building, you name it. He goes through it there in Ecclesiastes. Said, nothing. Didn't mean a thing. After I'm gone, so what? But when I served the Lord, that grounded me. That anchored my soul. That was worth the investment. Solomon says it here. John in 3 John echoes that same thing. That is our message for today. That from this day forward, you look and see how you can invest in those in the church and those God brings into your path, because there is our treasure. There is real grounding and anchoring for our souls, a sense of I'm here for a purpose. I have a meaning and a family that I am a part of. I belong. All these things we need. And God says, I give all that to you. This is what will sustain you through those times in the dark valleys as you're climbing up on the mountains. Remember this, and I will see you again.